Hey everyone, I'm Jen, and this is Nelson. I am laying down after my shower and just relaxing as my hair dries. Anyhow, I was thinking about different things about those of us who are aware that we're jumping to different dimensions and can bounce around. It seems like there are many people that think they're in, it seems like, I used to be one, that think they're in one reality. But even within our ME community, thinks that, oh, we jump to a secondary reality, where I'm thinking, no, there's a zillion different realities. And maybe the one, quote, next to me might only have one difference, one drop of water in that ocean, but a few worlds over, dimensions over, bubbles over, there's lakes worth of changes within that ocean, and then it just keeps getting further away. So it's not just I'm just laughing at, my eyes were closed, I'm just laughing at my cat because he's listening, his ears were back. Okay, so some of us are feeling invisible. I've already talked about it. I can be in a different diner or coffee shops or stores, and or even driving. I feel like I'm invisible. Like, how can they not see me? But what if I'm just enough of a one step too far away for them to see me? Gosh darn it, I wish I remember your name. You're talking about your wife helping someone, saying, hey, have you seen so-and-so? And that so-and-so was right there at the location by the car that they were sitting in, and never saw him, but then he was there the whole time, according to the husband. So, when the wife returned, she could see, or something like that. But I feel like because I've experienced morphings, where things and people change literally before my eyes, but also, what's the word? Materialized, like out of nothing. Things have materialized, and I believe that we weave in and out of other realities, or just realities, throughout each day. We do not only get reset at night, I think, or not only being bounced from lion, lamb, fisted thinker world to wherever we are. I'm thinking that when we're with a person, we can do, since we're in a society that does not accept everyone's in their own bubble, then we end up having to merge in the either we create, the two of us, whoever the other person is, we create a new bubble that is merged, or one of us joins the other. So I've talked about this before, but let's just say, okay, do you remember how the lovely lady and I, we were driving, and she says, I was driving and she's a passenger, and she says, watch out. And I said, what? There was nothing there. And she says she didn't know what was there. So I believed that something was there, and I just was not seeing it. So I joined her reality that was that I was that there was something on the road. I don't want to hit anything on the road. I know I've talked about this, so I'm sorry if it's a repeat for some. But okay. So then, once I acknowledged that there was something on the road, I entered that reality. There's something on the road. I didn't know what it was. She didn't know she had not identified it. She didn't know what it was. And then both of us are guessing, And I literally saw morph from a bird to a piece of trash, to a bird to a piece of trash. And she's also strong-willed, and so she and I were arguing over what that was. Time-wise, there's no way we could have had all that conversation before we reached it, but somehow we did. And anyhow, the reality we ended up on was a bird dealing with a piece of trash, like eating around it or something. I don't know, whatever food was there maybe. But like Cobb CEO talked about, hey, there's something behind that tree, but if we say, oh, maybe it's a lion, then maybe that thing transforms into a lion, because that's what our heart and mind think it is. So, I think there's something to that, especially because with the materializing thing. Another time I was driving, and there's the neighbor. We were driving, leaving the development. She always said she saw deer in where I used to live, and I never saw deer. And then, but this time, I'm giving her a ride, and then I've told this story before. A squirrel's crossing the road, and then so I stop. But once the squirrel was almost to the shoulder, I start going again, and she says, "Watch out!" And I said, I know, but I stopped until the squirrel was all the way over, and I went again, and then she's very, like, almost hysterical, like, watch out. I'm like, what? Because there was nothing there for me. And then she said, a deer. I said, where? Because I thought maybe it was, like, hiding on the left or the right. It's a neighborhood that there were lots of trees, so it's like woods, like the homes are within the forest. So I thought maybe it could be hiding in the forest on the left or right. But she points directly in front of my hood. So then the deer, full grown deer with antlers and everything, was in front of me, in front of us, in front of the car. So I definitely entered her reality, because now there's a deer, but I saw the process of it. I saw it materialized. It was like, how glitter can change the shades of light and dark as it's falling? That's what it looked like. And then blah, 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 it materialized. So as we're doing that, going from world to world, and someone says look at this change, I can't believe this changed. Well, that's enough information to maybe join that world, or we're in an ME community where we just go along and trust whoever's presenting it, that's how it is, and then that's what our eyes see, because from my own experience, things can change right before our eyes. Like Sean Indigo, his cheese changed. He opens the fridge door, and the cheese name or something changes literally in front of his eyes. So now that we know that that's all possible, let's take it to the next step. Those who want to control which world you live in want to control what you see. Maybe what changes are there are also connected to what other things are in that world, and maybe not so lovely things, So I don't know. Be careful with, continue your free will is my recommendation to everyone. And I think this also goes with people, feeling invisible. Maybe it's because my truth or bubble, whatever, is different enough that I'm not able to be seen in the same sense. I'm not, maybe I cannot be seen. Yeah, I'm not seen by them, but maybe I cannot see certain things. Like, every once in a while I'll see dead people, but I don't see them 24/7. I'm sure they're all around us, because I believe we're like an overhead projector with lots of plastic sheets of clear plastic papers that are stacked on top of each other. And for some reason, we in the Mandela effect community can see the other dimensions. And sometimes I can see the ghosts and stuff, or, dead people, which they're not dead. They're just on another sheet of paper, the same way other people cannot see me. So, and then some finally, I don't want this to be longer than it already is, but um, is what if, to help with the transition, a death is severe, but that's sometimes needed. But what about the smaller quote deaths, like my friend, I called him yesterday, I call him Crunchy's his nickname, but I had a question about something regarding my dog, and he loves dogs, and but he's so out of my realm, my reality, that we're no longer daily, weekly friends anymore. It's because we're so different. Every fork in the road, we kept choosing different ones, but there's still the commonality of the dog, sort of a commonality. His answer was ridiculous, but so I'm thinking next time I have a dog question, I might not go to him. But the point is, he was right and perfect after my brain injury. I met him through the TBI support group, traumatic brain injury support group. So it was perfect. And then as I healed, his is and had more capabilities, and his is has stayed stagnant, maybe even worse. Like, did our forks in the roads make us be different versions of ourselves, that I no longer needed the version that I had back then? And not out of meanness or anything, it's just that we don't resonate, like strings on a guitar. Let's just say I was at the very, base of being a human being, because at the very beginning I could just grunt. I would stutter if I could get to talking. I was like a caveman with my feelings. I would just like explode with emotion versus being able to communicate properly. So let's just say I was the bass. So I was the lowest string on a guitar, and other people on the guitar were further up, higher vibed, where I used to be. And maybe that's what happened with my oldest daughter. I don't know, because I definitely changed as a person. And then over time, I'm strumming on different strings of the guitar. So I've moved on up. I'm saying I'm all of them. I'm not saying I moved away from the bass, but let me see. So the string theory. So I'm thinking that there's usually 3D experiences. Maybe people that you no longer resonate with, for that reality's world, you moved away. Like for Crunchy, and then two other people, it was really strange, because I had pulled away over time, and we just did not resonate anymore. But these three people, they have special meaning because of special times in my life. And so I went out of my way to go back to them. And I'm telling you, it was like a magnet. It was so much work. My body was so heavy. It was like it's like returning to a different body that was like dead weight, lead weight. Ooh, dead. I don't know. Lead weight. And each of them, I saw them each separately. Each started saying, but definitely acted like they just saw a ghost. I thought you were dead. I thought you were dead. It's like, when the first one happened, I was like, no, my ears just made stuff up, or my knowing just made that up. I don't know. But, after three people, I'm like, I think I was dead to them in a different timeline or something. And now I'm back all of a sudden, because they like snap of the finger, then got the upload, and they were totally fine. Like their whole demeanor changed, and they were okay being around me, because the second or 2 seconds before, they were freaked out that I'm standing and walking in their home, at their front door. So, is it good going whatever good it is it appropriate to go back to the people that either they left or you left, or just time had you drift apart? Because you're returning to waters that, if you're returning to their waters, I don't know, just be sure you don't get sucked in with the undertow, and don't stay resonating with them. There's definitely an ebb and flow in life, but going purposely to swim to a different place, I don't know. Even visiting estranged family, or being ousted from a family, or having family leave, I mourned them. I missed my baby sister. I missed my parents. I missed my aunts, uncles, cousins, and everybody. But I had to speak the truth. I had a new baby, and I was not going to keep secrets, and I was going to protect my children. So, or at that time, one child. So I was scared that if I spoke up, that I would lose everybody. But it was an easy decision because I wanted to be in my bubble where my baby's safe. So I was willing to be alone. And the thing is, yeah, that's scary, but they were loving the good girl who keeps secrets and who doesn't make any waves. They were loving the fake Jen, the pretend Jen. And I wanted my family to love me, the real me. And so I was willing to be alone, but actually I didn't do that for me. I did it for my baby. But over time, I've been slowly doing it more and more for me. And yes, clearing the pantry of junk food stinks, because you miss the junk food. You want the junk food because you had good memories with the junk food. And yes, your pantry will feel empty, but you know what? As it is emptying, there's a stir-crazy time period. But instead of thinking about the missed junk food, if you start thinking of the good food that's there, organic fruits and vegetables, so you're not getting the sprayed chemicals. Just start off with that. Or 100% dark chocolate, so you're still, or slowly wean yourself, transition yourself to the 100% where I am now. At the beginning, there's no way. It tasted too awful, but I started increasing the percentage of cacao. And of course, we're all talking metaphorically, but I'm bringing up my foodie habits into this. First I would have a little bit higher percentage of chocolates, and then I slowly got used to that, and I knew that I was still having too much sugar in there, so I slowly started increasing, and I don't know how long it took, not even a year, probably less than a year, but I love my 100% dark chocolate. No, you cannot find it in the sweets aisle. You have to go to the baking aisle, but and I guess you could add stevia if you want to melt it and then reharden it, but whatever, I like it the way it is. So my point is, my pantry is full. There's still some empty places, but my metaphorical cupboard is full. Like here, I didn't even like drinking water for the long, when I had to transition out of, sweet tea. I'm in the South. When I found out about sweet tea, I loved it. But, I instead of sodas, I do sparkling water. So, it took time to transition. But if you're feeling invisible, if your friends are dropping, or you're feeling yourself drifting away from friends, it's probably just because they're playing a different tune on the guitar. And all tunes are right. There's no wrong. It's just follow your heart and play the tune you want to play. And as your finger moves from, strums from one note to another, there is a little time in between. Feels huge, but there's still time needed in between. And sometimes the sounds in between notes, not sometimes, I think equally, they give as much power to our journey. They're just as beautiful a part of every one of our songs. So, all right. I am going to get out of bed. Yep, this is me with my Carmen Miranda look. I love you guys. Bye.